Hi, and welcome back to Keep Smiling with Larry Rifkin. I'm Larry Rifkin. How are you? Today we're going to talk a little bit about divine timing and synchronicity. On my spiritual path, and I don't try to convince anybody of anything. That's not my job. I try to make sure that I find my own happiness within me. And I share that experience with others, and if it resonates with them, that's great. If it doesn't, that's fine too, because everybody follows their own path. Just because they may not be on my path or on your path doesn't necessarily mean that they're on the wrong path. We always have to understand that, because what's right for us may not be right for somebody else. So I try to basically lead by example. It's how I do my parenting. It's how I do my life coaching. It's how I run businesses. I never try to force anything on anybody. I lead by example and I show them what works for me. Now, when we talk about divine timing, and divine timing is an amazing thing because it's always there and it's always right. And there's this saying that when we pray to God or to the universe or to whatever higher power that we believe in and that works for us, all of our prayers are answered. They may not be answered the way that we wanted or expected or anticipated, but they're always answered. And the saying goes that all prayers are answered in one of three different ways. And you say your prayer to the universe or to God or to whatever higher power it is, and you ask for whatever it is that you're looking for, and the answers come of one of three answers. The answer could be yes, you're going to have exactly what you asked for. That's number one. Number two, the answer could be not yet. You're not ready. Divine timing will let you know when you're ready. So, even though you're asking for it and you expect it now, divine timing isn't right yet. So, the universe or God or the higher power or whoever you're talking to is telling you, not yet, but we're going to answer your prayers. So the first answer is yes, the second answer is not yet, and the third answer is, I have something better in mind for you. Now, a lot of times we don't understand that when we get it because we think our prayers aren't being answered. But that's not the truth. The truth is our prayers are being answered, and the universe always knows what's best for us. I have something better in mind. You're out and you're looking to get into a relationship, and there's been this girl or this guy or whatever it is that you've had your eye on for a long time, and you really wanted to get to know better, and you see them around. They might be part of your casual crowd or acquaintances, but you've never gotten really close to them, but yet you've always had an interest. And you say, this is what I desire. I desire to have a deep, intimate relationship with this person. And we meditate about it, and we set our vibrations high, and we surround it with sacred energy, and we release it to the universe. And then it comes out, and the opportunity comes up to sit down and talk to them one-on-one, close. And we find that it's just not going anywhere. It's not the right person. This doesn't mean that your prayers weren't answered. This means that the answer was, I have something better in mind for you. Meaning that this person, as good as they seem on the outside, or as perfect superficially as a relationship may look, it's not the right relationship for you to be in. There may be things that you don't know going on in the background. There may be situations that you don't understand, or there just might not be any synchronicity. So, when the timing is right, divine timing, the right person will just walk into your life. You might not be expecting them. You might not be expecting them at that moment, but we don't control time. Time is controlled by divine timing and by universal timing. And we need to recognize that everything happens in the right time. It might not seem so at the moment, but then, that old saying, hindsight is always 20/20. As we're going through it and this relationship didn't materialize, and we go home and we're upset because we were so sure it was going to. And then 4 months later, you're out and about, walking around town, and you run into somebody, an old friend, somebody new, a friend of a friend. And all of a sudden you click. And you click on many levels. And all of a sudden it starts to resonate and you start to mesh. And the relationship becomes deeper. Now, even though we're 4 months away from that other relationship, which when it didn't happen when we expected it to, or when we wanted it to, and we didn't understand and we went home and we were upset and we sulked. And we said, why isn't this working? The law of attraction isn't working for me. Vibrational matching isn't working for me. Why isn't this working? I'm upset. I'm not going to continue on this spiritual path. It's just not working. And now, 4 months later, you bump into this person. And boom, there's chemistry. And the chemistry is magical. And just talking to them is easy and flows. And you sit back and you look back 4 months ago when you asked and you prayed for the universe for a relationship. And that one didn't happen. And you were upset. And now, 4 months later, all of a sudden, this right match, this soul partner, this twin flame, just walks into your life. Now you look back and you realize, might be 4 months later, why it didn't work and why it didn't happen with the other one. Because one of your answers was, I have something better in mind for you. These answers that we get all work within the law of divine timing. It's like, we might not want to recognize the law of gravity, but we all know it's there. And we can't do anything about it, and we accept it into our life. The law of divine timing works the same way. It's always there. We might not understand it at the moment. We don't understand electricity. I don't have a clue how electricity works. I know when I flick that switch, the lights go on. We might not understand it at the moment, but looking at it in hindsight, we see that yes, our affirmations were answered. Yes, the higher power did answer us. It might not have answered us in what we were looking for or what we expected or what we thought was going to happen. And as we've talked about in previous episodes, when you set your affirmation, never narrow yourself down to, I want a relationship with Susan or Josephine or whoever, or Billy Bob or Mike. You don't ask for that. You ask the universe, the higher power, God, that you're looking for a deep relationship, a meaningful relationship where you have a connection on so many levels. And you end it, or I end it, and this is what I recommend and this is what I teach my life coaching students to do, with the line of, I'm ready now for this or something better. And always leave yourself open for something better and let the universe know you're ready now. That doesn't mean it's going to come now. It means that you're ready now for this or something better. And one of the most important things that we want to keep in mind when we're dealing with divine timing and synchronicity, and I talk about synchronicity because I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that everything happens for a reason and when it's supposed to. So I try not to use the word coincidence, I use synchronicity. But one of the main things when you're dealing with divine timing and synchronicity, and this is something that we have to work on constantly and that I'm constantly working on, is we have to let go of all the resistance that comes our way. And resistance can come our way in a lot of different modes. It can come our way with negative people that we surround ourselves with. It can come our way through financial issues. It can come our way through whatever it is. Just let go of all the resistance and realize that we need to accept what is, whatever comes our way. Remember, it's very important to keep into our mind that whatever happens is exactly what's supposed to happen at that moment. Everything that happens is exactly what's supposed to happen at that moment. It's part of the process of manifesting our desires. As we manifest our desires, we need to come into and understand universal timing, divine timing, whichever word you want to use, universal timing and synchronicity. All of this is part of the process of manifesting our desires. And what we need to do is we need to flow with that. We need to flow with whatever is happening. Again, give up the resistance, give up the fighting. We talked about this in one of our previous episodes. When we fight something, it doesn't allow us the freedom, the opportunity to move forward. It keeps us a prisoner and it keeps us tethered to something in the past. When you're tethered to something in the past, you don't have the space in your soul, in your mind, in your spirit to allow new things to happen to us. So, give up the resistance, whatever it is. The resistance is, another person, negative people around me telling me I can't do this. I've had that around me my whole life. People always told me I couldn't do things. I love it when that happens because then I try harder just to show them, I can do it, and I can do it very well. But we give up the resistance of what's going against us and start to allow ourselves to go with the flow. What's another way of talking about this? It's one of our spiritual cornerstones of living in the moment. When we live in the moment, again, part of divine timing and synchronicity, when we live in the moment, we release the resistance that's holding us back and keeping us tethered to the past. We release that to the universe. We open ourselves up and allow ourselves to flow with whatever is reality right now. This is very, very, very important. And remember, again, as we're talking about divine timing, everything happens just as it's supposed to, just when it's supposed to. If it's not on your timing, remember, don't give up. Don't get upset. There's something better on its way to you. The universe doesn't let us down. It might not give us exactly what we think we want, but it does give us everything that we need. Very important. And we don't allow ourselves to get caught up and get tethered into the minutia, into the chaos, into the chatter that's going on to our mind, into the negative talk that's happening. Give up the resistance. It doesn't matter what other people think. Remember, on our spiritual path, We're not looking for the acceptance or appreciation of anybody else. We realize that all of the goodness, all the happiness, all of the joy comes from within us. And if it's not on our timing, we recognize that there's something better on its way, or there's better timing for this situation to happen. And we give up resistance, we give up fighting with it, and we focus on something else. We give our mind up from fighting it. That's the principle to spirituality, is to live in the moment and not be a prisoner to our thoughts, to what holds us back. Divine timing is one of the ways that the universe provides us signs or clues or messages for our true purpose. Divine timing always works. Divine timing is real and it's predictable. Wow. I know you sit there and say, how can that be? How can it be real and how can it be predictable? It's extremely real. Everything happens exactly when it's supposed to, exactly how it's supposed to. We might not understand it at the moment, but everything happens just as it's supposed to, when it's supposed to. And we learn to stop fighting it and to flow and allow ourselves to flow. And instead of fighting it and instead of resisting it and instead of having all this chaos go into our minds, let that go and focus on something else. Remember, we want to resonate with the frequency of divine timing. And accept in your heart, in your soul, in your being, the fact that everything does happen just as it's supposed to, just when it's supposed to. It's the law of divine timing, the law of synchronicity. It works just like the law of gravity. We don't fight the law of gravity. There's no fighting it. An apple falls from a tree. You can't stop it and say, go back up there. We accept it. There's no resistance to it. And we allow it to flow. The law of gravity works the same way as the law of divine timing. I hope you got something out of this. I hope that this was a message that you're able to use and use in your daily life. I want to ask everybody, please do come to our website. Let us know what you thought about the show. Let us know any thoughts or ideas or comments that you have. Send us your blogs. Become part of our community. It's listed right here at the bottom of the screen, www.amazinguniversetv.com, and be part of it. Have a wonderful and safe week, and remember, until we come together again, always keep smiling.